my voice, clap once. If you can hear my voice, clap twice. If you can hear my voice, say ooh.
Ooh.
If you can hear my voice, say ooh la.
Ooh la.
If you can hear my voice, say ooh la la.
Ooh la la.
If you can hear my voice, say oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Social Saturdays is in the building. Make some noise if you alive. Make some noise if we alive. Yeah, I am your humble host. I am Jay Rice. Jay Rice, name so nice you had to say it twice. I'm that handsome fella on that poster. Today I chose to put a face on. So thank y'all for being here. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you decided to be here. We are very grateful. We are very, very grateful. We're going to have a lot of crazy dope entertainment. We're going to do our first round in right now. So I'm going to introduce our first poet. So this poet, I saw her a while ago. She actually beat me in a poetry slam, which was awesome. She's dynamic. She's representing Hunters Point. Hey, give her a round of applause for her SF. Woo! Yeah, San Francisco in the building. So Ladirev is an activist, a poet, and a healer. So I'm gonna bring her to the stage, but before we do that, y'all were just clapping. I gotta show y'all to do this again. So everybody, just stop what you're doing. Hopefully you're not holding any babies. Everybody, I need you to take your left hand. Everybody take your left hand. Everybody take your right hand. Now I need you to put it together. Put it together one more time. Keep going until we bring up Ladirev. Yeah.
Hey, how y'all living?
Very well.
That's good. I'm Ladirev. I'm from Double Rock in San Francisco. I want to shout out my dad. It's his first time seeing me perform. And I feel like that's perfect because I'm going to open with a poem that I wrote for my neighborhood. So the buildings that we used to live in no longer exist. They tore it down. They've been gentrifying Bayview Hunters Point District 10 in San Francisco for some years now. And so most of the original housing is gone. And the black population is less than 2% now, I believe. For San Francisco, we've been displaced at an alarming rate. And they're doing that now to Oakland too. So I just want to encourage people to claim and hold space wherever this blackness is. It belongs everywhere. So don't let them just keep pushing us around at their own leisure. But this piece is called Remnants of the Ghetto. Ain't no place I'd rather be, chilling with homies and family. Sky high, iced out paradise in the sky. Ain't no place I'd rather be, the only place that's right for me. A chromed out mansion in paradise in the sky. The old buildings are falling apart. There is no more gospel or trap music to hold their roofs atop or their walls strong, and the paved histories of generations of slave feet are the only thing still fighting. Roads have been fully corroded because it never anticipated a community dying. A city is only as good as its streets. The gates are rusted, no longer trusting its purpose as new faces come to surface, and the only thing indigenous folks want to know is what now will protect us. Foreign shades of clear that left this land empty and full of filth have returned to see what time has done to this forgotten land. But the land was never empty. It was an island of melanin misery that only the sun could see, and ocean water fed it dry. Generations of misconceptions and bad perceptions harvested life within the confines of this here land and are now being pushed out by what has been planned as progression. Several pairs of sneakers, laces tied, gently hang from the power lines, saluting the untold histories of this here earth. Not flags of forfeit, but signs of life still being here. that despite years of being overlooked, gun rights, pushed soldier race, poison-induced pregnancies, a body of people still thrives here present day. Babies from the 80s still roam these streets daily, and they ain't afraid to talk about old ways, but they act like they don't see those sneakers. Are baffled by the survival of the people, wondering, how did they withstand years of toxins and irregular births, ears clocked into politicians who don't speak vernacular, poor grocery stores spread throughout like cancer, unemployment, incarceration increasing with every generation? How the fuck are these people surviving through all this oppression? How are they withstanding all this white inferiority and still bringing glory to these ghetto doors? See, Jesus don't live here. And hell is just another hood. And even now, as they fight to turn the ground, they still can't erase every trace of us. Our bottles of regret and depression shattered against the pavement, 10-month-old Timberlands left at the basketball courts, lost love in the cuts, youth blood in the streets, and all of our fallen OGs. See, no one can erase this history. Nor can they reverse the trauma of seeing friends and family dolphins on corner. We don't need hospitals. The streets serve as a healthy reminder. No matter what happens. And even if these colonizers try to steal our children's inheritance, remnants of the ghetto will always come to surface again. We embody the streets. This next one is, okay, so I do have a lot of tattoos, and I have more tattoos from the time that I wrote this poem, but I just always give a disclaimer, because most of the time I'm covered up, so you really can't see all the ink, but it's called Tatted. People always ask me, how many tattoos do you have? And I tell them like 22, but it's really like 30. It's just that some of them are invisible. I have all this shit on my skin, but you'll never see all the shit that I hold within. Let me tell you something that I didn't learn in college. See, life experience can give you the most knowledge, and the shit that you might experience can be the most toxic. So I got my first tattoo and I found out my mother was adopted. She was given up by her white mother because of her blood, and with her black father dead, there was no one there to provide a fuss. Even though we are not that dark, there was still an art to passing. Yes, I'm fair skinned, but I can't pass for European, and my mother was in the same shoes that I'm in. And to give that tattoo more detail, she was adopted by a black woman who saw her fair skin as evil. You know, confirming her original mother's decision and subjecting my mother to a life of always being treated different. And it's something that she carried in her family tree. So that when my mother got older and had her first daughter, she did the same shit to me. She didn't give me up, but she did hate my blood, and she always reminded me she wished things were different because my face reminded her of my father's broken promises. I would go to bed and wake up to her resentment because my divine presence in her life reminded her of all the lies that people told her about her own mother. And now here I am today, trying to balance their mistakes, not use colorism as a cage like my grannies did. I've retouched this tattoo so many times, but I still haven't quite mastered it. I have 2 tattoos on my womb for each child my body has produced and then rejected. Miscarried, lust, delivered still hope, and lost all direction. If you look at the artistry of a woman who is bearing, you can still see God. These are some of my most painful tattoos because children are closest to my heart. Do blind people still dream? Let me tell you something psychology taught me. Trauma is genetically modifying. This means that my children dying could easily be contributed to my original grandmother's decision to not own up to being white with mixed children, and now my body's just rejecting the idea of creating. I did not ask for these tattoos. Now, I'm not about to tell y'all how I split my soul 4 times, but for the sake of my rhyme, I will define what soul splitting is. It's when something happens that's so tragic, kind of takes away your magic and leave you half standing. So I had to get some shading so folks wouldn't notice that I'm incomplete. And this tattoo actually makes up most of my personality. I've lost so much of myself each time my soul has left that I am still struggling to collect memories. Deja vu gets the best of me, blurs of past life confuse me, and slurs of what freedom is like seduces me, but I actually attribute all my unseen tattoos as like side effects to white supremacy. Now I know that could be too quick or too deep for some. You can look at these tattoos and easily identify the personal issues used, but let me argue this. Had it not been for slave culture, which taught my people that it was wrong for us to love and procreate with one another, and instead subjected us to the blood rape of others, then maybe we wouldn't even have mixed children. And even if we did have mixed children, we wouldn't have people who are afraid to want and love them. There has never been a point in history where love has superseded capitalism. We don't live in a society that's brave enough to leave the confines of hegemony or understand the power it takes to identify someone's humanity. They wonder why freedom can be so transforming. Do you know who you would be if no one defined it for you? Could you love yourself after generations of self-devaluation? And can you create tattoos that can be accepted by plenty? Yes, some of this ink was given me, but the things that I've added, it's just me breathing.
Another one.
Generational curses serve as playing field for corrupt cops. Sometimes, freedom is hidden in life choices that you don't get to make. It's hard to see little kids as innocents auctioned off in classrooms, so we turn on TVs instead. Cali King Bears rest heads of fallen gangsters whose mothers shun their fathers. Black folk in America ain't never been free. Grocery shopping is capitalism disguised as food equity. Prison reform can't be established because masters ain't trading high yield stock. Stimulate foreign tongues with stories of American dreams. You are only as good as you put out. Dirty hands build cities, not the poor. A society must be conducive to crime. That's why we're at war. Ain't nobody in America free. Chains don't sell like they used to. Granny's voodoo can't always protect you. Streets grit they teeth at empty clips. Rain don't cleanse acid. That's why we need blood. Grass grows in every mind that witnesses martyrdom in sunlight. What's freedom anyway? Lick lip chasing savory guava leaves filled with disappointment, resentment in coffee mugs. You don't even know yourself. Why should I? Gamble away liberty to profit private laws. Don't nothing humble you like the jailhouse. Trauma fuels the economy. I know. None of this shit makes sense. It ain't supposed to. This world was not made to live. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Nice to meet you again. Hi, everyone. You probably recognize my face. I took a lot of your orders. I work here for free. I'm Tia. It's nice to meet all of you. I'm here to do the interview. Thanks. Now, tell us your name once more.
Ladirev is short for Lady Revolutionary.
That's beautiful. One more round of applause for this poet. Because I think the audience and I want to get to know you just a little bit deeper. You had some really hard-hitting poems. You hit a lot of really real topics, gentrification, some personal experience you had. I almost cried in the corner over there a little bit. But when this audience walks away today, what are some of the messages or emotions that you hope your poems convey to everyone?
Yeah, you know, the part of the Ladirev is the revolutionary piece. I'm always hoping to like evoke some type of like awakening in folks. I want people to think more critically about what's happening around them, what's happening in the world, and our individual power to impact what's happening around us. That's kind of like my biggest thing. So I try to say like somewhat wild, somewhat regular, like find a balance in between so it can kind of jog people's minds to be like, damn, I didn't think about it like that. Or man, I just been ignoring that. Man, I didn't even trip. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just to kind of like bring some type of awareness and awakening.
Oh yeah, you're bringing attention to a lot of different things. I appreciate that. I like that.
Yeah.
It's just a hard-hitting question. What does creative expression kind of mean to you, and what role do you think creative expression kind of plays in society today?
I feel like it's freedom. I feel like it's a form of freedom for folks to practice. I think freedom is a learned behavior, right? And the best way to learn the behavior is to practice doing it. So I feel like creative expression is a form of practicing freedom for yourself, for your mind, for your words, for your tongue. Our tongues are already enslaved, so let's unchain that. Let's open that up and allow ourselves to be full, be present, be authentic, and build people's capacity. You know what I'm saying? You gotta build people's capacity to accept who you are. And that's not always fair, but if you want to be free, it's a part of the process too. So that's how I think it just build capacity and unleash yourself.
That's true. It's amazing. I was talking to you earlier, and I told you I don't do poetry anymore. But when I did poetry, I was like 12, and I was writing emo poems. I don't want to get into that. A lot of them had to do with some dark things. But either way, I want to ask you a little bit about some of the first poems that you wrote. Just kind of like how your journey was, going from your first poems and what they were about to some of the newer ones and some of the ones you share today.
Yeah, it was hella funny when you said that. I used to write that shit too.
Y'all gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, I really battled with depression. I was really bad in my younger years. I've been healing for at least like 5-6 years now. I've been working on my healing. And so in the beginning, it was just all about depression. It was all about like my emotional state and how I was trying to balance like suicide and different things like that. I was really struggling with those things. So all of my writing looked like that in the beginning. And then I started kind of shifting my focus to like, oh, I'm not the only one. I don't feel this by myself. There's other people that feel it, and they need support.
And then bringing awareness into it.
Yeah, so then I started bringing it in there. And I just got, I consider myself a revolutionary. I used to do a lot of protesting, a lot of building. In San Francisco, we protested the mayor, the police chief. Like, we was trying to make shit shake back then. So then my focus was completely like, I got to impact the people. We gotta create some type of movement. And so most of my poetry now is to me all movement shit. Like, how do we wake folks up? How do we bring awareness? How do we get people like excited and almost like obligated to do something about the Black condition of California? And this is happening in multiple states. I've gone to Maryland and seen it in Maryland. You know what I'm saying? In Georgia, it's a whole different kind of chaos. But just kind of like, man, what can I do, my little self? What can I do to kind of push people? Like, let's do this. Like, we have power. Let's use it.
That's amazing. So you start a revolution by walking, now you do it by talking. Okay, well, before we wrap this up, do you want to try and give like a little promo? How can people find you? How can they contact you? How can they see more of your poems?
Yes, I meant to bring my phone. I'm going to airdrop all y'all my website, okay? So if your airdrop is on, I'm going to airdrop y'all my website. I am offering healing coaching. I do believe that it takes a community to make change, but we start at the individual level by healing ourselves. So I want to share that with all you guys, have you guys tap in, either for yourself or someone you know, whatever. Just share it. You can follow me on Instagram at Ladirev, Ladirev. Check me out. Got YouTube there, a bunch of stuff on my channel. I have a podcast called Talking Out the Side of the Neck, where I talk about like individual healing practices that you can start off just like right now. But yeah, tap in. All of that's on the Instagram too, so just tap in.
You got that? Y'all get that? Airdrop's on?
Airdrop, yeah.
It was
Once
nice
I get to
talking
my
to
phone,
you.
I'll send it.
That's amazing. One more round of applause. Thank you.